I got this thing going. Yeah. Hi, everybody. Forget that little bit. Anyway, what I'm going to talk about is 3D printing. I don't know if everybody saw it, but government's up in arms. That Chuck Schumer is all going on about 3D printers. People are going to be able to print assault rifles in their basements and all this kind of crap. It's crap. But 3D printers are real, and they're quite fantastic. I didn't know much about them until a week ago. The things were coming on. That guy down in Texas made that a gun. It's a gun in name. It's not a real gun. I mean, it's just a big piece of plastic with a hole in it, and with a firing pin in it and stuff like that. But that's not the thing about 3D printers. And I don't think that that's why the government is trying to demonize 3D printing. I think what we're seeing is that 3D printing is on the, it's like 1987 with the PC, right? Not everybody has one, but I think everybody's going to have one eventually. And because I went on and checked, and there's a place in the States that sells one. It's around $1,100, the basic package. And you can make all kinds of crap with it, right? And this could affect business, corporations in a dramatic way. Outfits like Walmart, Plastic Mart, China Mart, why go to Walmart to get your plastic pumpkin? You can print one out at home. You can print out 10. Give them to the neighbors, right? And let's face it, all that plasticware that comes from China that's sold in these big box stores, this could hurt. This could hurt the government revenues because the government collects taxes on this, and you pay an exorbitant price for a plastic pumpkin. What's a plastic pumpkin cost these days? $3, $4? I could print out a half a dozen for that, right? So I really think that what we're seeing here is they're demonizing the 3D printer. Because the 3D printer, all of a sudden, anybody can become a manufacturer. You're only limited to your imagination. Now, one of the things I'm interested in is lost foam casting. Now, for people who don't know what lost foam casting is, and I will be doing some videos of it later on, once I figure out, once I get my foundry up. But you take ordinary foam, the foam insulation, not the big thick stuff, but the pink and the blue stuff. You make your pattern out of that, put it in the sand, you pour your molten metal right in on it. It vaporizes it, and you get whatever pattern you made. It could be a cross, it could be a pencil case, whatever. Whatever you happen to have made is reproduced in aluminum. Well, if you have a 3D printer and you can print up some pretty intricate patterns. Now, GM, when they started Saturn, they used the 3D printing to make engines. And there's a video on YouTube somewhere. I saw it a while back, or a few days ago, on that very thing. It was quite amazing, absolutely amazing. The complexity of this thing. Now, people could be doing this at home. It depends on how much you want to do in a printer, but I mean, if they get printers down into the $400 and $500 range, people are going to be buying these things, and they're going to start making stuff and selling them at yard sales and flea markets and opening up stores, and then you look at something like a company that's like meat packing. Right now they have to buy their plastic buckets and those little foam trays. Well, now they can have a 3D printer print all they want. So, I can see why the government would go after 3D printing and using the gun demon, which, they're so slimy, the governments these days. They never actually tell you exactly what they're doing. They always have one hand up here and the other hand in your pocket, or massaging your ass or something like that. So I would suspect that the 3D printing is a real threat to government and to business and to big business, and they're going to try to do their best to discourage people from doing it. But it's such an important technology, right? I think, personally, the 3D printer, there hasn't been an invention as important since the steam engine. Some people may disagree with me on this, but, the ability of people to start manufacturing anything, and that's where money is in manufacturing. I mean, if you can take something that cost cents and turn it into dollars, I'm telling you, it's quite amazing. So, I just wanted to talk about that, and I'd like to get other people's opinions on it and stuff, like what they think of 3D printing. And I mean, just not for the gun aspect or anything like that, although I could see making stocks and like the forearm spacers on the shotguns, those plastic ones that they sell for $10 and $12. For probably $10 or $12 worth of that plastic, you could probably make 100 of them, and all those little things, where this little, like, I remember we had a fridge with an ice maker. It came from Sears, and this little plastic gear broke in it. So they brought it to me, said, "Can you make this?" I said, "Yeah, it'd take me a while, but yeah, I could make this." What's it from? He said, "Oh, it's from my fridge." I said, "Well, just call up Sears. Sears wants $32 for it, or $42 for it, or something." Well, I said, "I can't make it for that." Right? And he goes, he understood. But this plastic gear, I mean, the value in that, it had cents worth of plastic in it. And it was probably done in a mold. And Sears probably had 25 cents into the thing. But the manufacturing facility that made it, there was a lot of investment that went into that. The 3D printer is really going to put a lot of places that make this kind of stuff in a bad position. I could see that. And I can see the government not wanting people to start doing this. I mean, it's and you think about it, right? Everybody knows plumbers and electricians, and so you get a little electrical work done. Buddy comes over after supper, fixes it up, and gives him $25. Off he goes. He shoves it in his pocket. Now, if you called an electrician to do it, it ended up would have been $150. There would have been taxes on top of it, so on and so forth. And the government would have made money off it. Well, now with your neighbor has a 3D printer. You drop your skill saw on the floor, and you break the handle on it, and you go over. Can you make me one of these? Sure. Boom. How much? $10. Oh, great. So instead of having to go out and buy a new skill saw, this is going to change a lot of things. And then there'll be a lot of competition. Because people will start manufacturing things, and they will go in competition toe-to-toe and beat, because they have no overhead, they have no factory, they have no Medicare to deal with, they have no all those things that a big business has to deal with they won't have to deal with, and they'll be able to beat Walmart. They'll be able to beat Sears. They'll be able to beat Zellers and Target and all these, all these companies that manufacture this crap and charge you a great deal of money for it. So I think it's going to be an interesting. Man, I'll tell you, these times are interesting, and it's not just this. I don't normally talk about stuff like this, but I find this really interesting, and the politics behind it and such. And but anyway, till the next time.